Good morning. It is Wednesday, September 6th, 2023. You're listening to the Red Sea Roundup. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Deacon Mike Beauvais. Today, as always, we have a great show for you. This morning, I'm excited to be speaking with John Paci, Director of the Brazos Valley Catholic Charities of Central Texas. We're live this morning, so if there's something you want to add to the conversation, feel free to give us a call, 85-LOVE-RED-C. That's 855-683-7332. Good morning, John. How are you?
Good morning, Deacon Mike. I'm doing great, thank you. And thank you, Red Sea, for having me.
Well, it's very nice to have you. We've talked before, and it's always exciting to find out what's new at Catholic Charities.
Yes.
And there are several things that are happening that we're going to be talking about in just a second. But for those listeners who have not heard you before, I thought we'd talk a little bit about your background. How'd you get to be the Brazos Valley Director of Catholic Charities of Central Texas?
Wow, thank you. Well, you know, I've been with Catholic Charities now 6 years. And the first 3.5, I acquired this position as the Financial Stability Director, one of our programs in Austin. And I got there by way of going to the Creating Hope Luncheon in Austin. I learned more about Catholic Charities, like we like people, and that's why we invite people to learn more about our mission. And I did that day. And I think the Holy Spirit knocked on my door and said, this is your new career now. Go pursue it. And I listened, and I didn't hesitate, and I applied for that position and earned it, and was blessed to be awarded it, if you will, and been here ever since. So then this opening came up here in Brazos Valley. We did not have a local leader, if you will, and we took the opportunity to look at it and see the position we were in and wanted to grow more and help more. And so I volunteered to uproot from Austin, and here we are, 2.5 years later.
And so you're here in Bryan area full time, but you all just added a facility in Killeen also.
We did.
So
Yes.
What inspired Catholic Charities to expand into the Killeen area?
Yeah. So when we look to expansion, we look where the need is and what those needs are. And our programs fit specific needs, right? And fulfill those services through our 6, now going on 7 programs. So the need was definitely out there. We know there's a veterans community. We have a veterans program. We also have the refugee services that work out of that office. And, most of our programs are run out of there. So why we moved to Killeen is following the services, or following the needs, I should say, where the services can fulfill those needs.
Now, this is the main reason that Catholic Charities exists, is to help with the needs that we find in local communities. And so what are some of the areas that you feel, one, needs the most attention? Mm-hmm. And this will vary from community to community. Yeah. But let's start here in the Brazos Valley. Mm-hmm. What area do you see needing the most assistance through Catholic Charities of Central Texas?
Yeah, so what we're seeing a lot of need is for the parents who are, have children 0 to 36 months. They're pregnant or up to 36 months of children. And the need there is really to understand a healthy start to their child's life. And, we talk about pro-life a lot, right? But we want to make sure that they're getting a healthy start to the life. And pro-life isn't just about the birth, it's the entire life, right? And so when we take them in, that's a need that's being served to learn and be educated, not only for the health reasons, but to be a good parent, life skills, financial skills, right? So we have that opportunity to fulfill that need. That's growing more and more, especially after the Roe versus Wade decision was reversed. We've seen that uptick. So we're so blessed to be able to do that and provide for that. I also see financial needs. That's rampant. It's been like that since I've been at Catholic Charities for 6 years. And out here in the Brazos Valley, predominantly it's the people who are, low income, who are not getting enough income. Low income meaning they're not making enough money, right? And so we have to show them different ways to find maybe more jobs or different jobs, or better educate them. So those are the two glaring needs that I've seen. There's also mental health needs, and we're able to fulfill that service as well as serve those that are going through whatever challenges that life is bringing them and need some help through mental health services.
One thing I wanted to get back to is because this is usually one of the knocks on the pro-life movement is the fact that, well, you only care about the baby before it is born and nobody cares afterwards, which, of course, is obviously a lie because Catholic Charities has been doing this for years.
Yes. In fact, we're going on 15 years in the Brazos Valley. And so we're proud to say that. 25 years is our anniversary this year for Catholic Charities across the diocese. So in saying that, that's what we've been doing over the past 25 years over our area, is with the life and after the birth, we're continuing to fulfill the service need that they are looking for, they're searching for. It's not only the materials they receive, it's the education that they're receiving. And stories upon stories of these mothers and fathers, moms and dads coming into our program and now getting education, like college education, that they never thought they had. So, that's why we call it creating hope when we do our annual events. We are doing that every day. We're creating that hope and giving them that hope and that life proceeding from birth and able to help them through that.
And I think this is truly an example of what the church means by pro-life.
Yes.
Because it is for the life of the child. It's for the life of the parents. It's for the life of the people that are struggling with mental issues, physical issues.
Correct.
These sort of things that, financial issues.
Financial issues.
Catholic Charities of Central Texas is able to step in and say, we care about you.
Yes, we definitely care. And we live by the Catholic social teaching, treating everyone with dignity. We have a video that's out there that shows about Catholic Charities, right? And I love what Deacon Bill Scarmato said in that video. He said he was quoting, what was it, Matthew 25:40, least of my brother, right? I mean, one of these least brothers you've done for me, right? So on that context, it's really about that. It's about that dignity. I think it extends even more than our services sometimes, Deacon Mike. I was just reminded the other day, the county sheriff, just to give you a quick story if you don't mind, the county sheriff department, they have the inmates who come out and do pickup and cleanup, and they keep our beautiful area, Brazos Valley area, clean, right? And so they do that, and they do it right in front of our office. Our staff decides to take cold water bottles out to them, and just as a gesture, give them. So I think that's a microcosm of how we live as good Christians and provide even a cold bottle of water to someone out in that heat who's keeping our area beautiful. And so taking that extension backwards into the services they provide, you can just understand how well they do that for our families and how much we do really care, as you suggest.
We talked a little bit about the three primary needs that you see primarily here in the Brazos Valley. Now, the new facility in Killeen, is there a difference in your primary need that you see there, or is it pretty much the same?
It's similar, yeah, and that's why we're there. There's obviously a more population of veterans, and we have veterans case managers working out of that office for that purpose. And so it makes it simpler for them to reach those services, for the veterans to reach those services. The main need doesn't go away from place to place. It just, there may be more of it in one place to the other. And I think when you talk about veterans population, we love to serve them and help them because, there are those that may not be housed. They may need housing assistance, right? They've fallen on hard times and they've done the service that we are so grateful for. We want to return that to them. in best way possible. And how do we do that? We help them with financial education, financial services, help them find different jobs, better jobs, like I said before. It's really about a hand up and not the hand out. And so to answer your question, they're very similar with a little more of the population for veterans, and that's our program, St. Michael's Veterans Program.
Now, you are part of the Austin Diocese.
Yes.
And I know that Bishop Joe Vasquez is a great proponent of Catholic Charities.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about that relationship with the bishop and Catholic Charities of Central Texas.
Yes, we're so grateful for Bishop Joe's support. He was out at our event in April at the hotel, Texas A&M Hotel, our evening event, and showed great support. You know, we had the guest speaker who was one of our clients who told her story, and he gave her a wonderful blessing, and you can see the picture out on social media now. It's so beautiful to see that. But his support, without his support, I'm not sitting here talking to you right now. And I sincerely say that. Speaking of Colleen, Bishop Joe on site did the dedication, prayerful dedication to the building back a couple of weeks ago. And we had about, over 50 people show up to witness this. And so to see that and see his presence and feel his presence through this mission that we are helping and serving others is again, without his leadership, we couldn't do it.
And this, I think, is so important for our listeners to understand, is that Catholic Charities of Central Texas is in part a continuing ministry of the church in Central Texas, of which, of course, Bishop Joe Vasquez is the leader.
Yes.
And so it's important to know that, all of us have a role in this, because ultimately that a charge from Jesus in Matthew 25 is for all of us. Whatever you did to the least of my brothers, you've done for me.
Yes.
And so we have this obligation in part to assist in this.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. We just came out of a couple of weeks ago, Catholic Charities Weekend, and to let everybody in the parishes, 125 parishes in the diocese, know about Catholic Charities and understand we're here to serve, and we're here to help the communities that we serve in. And without the teamwork of our community and the teamwork from the diocese, none of this can happen, right? So what you say is true, is we all pitch in whatever that is, and we activate and we help and we support. Well, we receive that support from the diocese throughout our 25 counties of the diocese, but we also, on our own, make this mission work because we're doing it on the ground every day. The staff that you see at our office, the staff in Killeen, the staff in Austin. And so I think there's just a full relationship, a full circle of relationship when it comes to diocese, when it comes to us, and then it comes to our community, our brothers and sisters coming together to support us and help us, whether it's volunteering, whether it's financial, prayers, it's all there. It's all felt within our community of Catholic Charities of Central Texas.
And I want to remind our listeners, I'm talking to John Paci, the director of the Brazos Valley office of the Catholic Charities of Central Texas. And I wanted to spend a little bit of time on the individual programs that you offer through Catholic Charities. So just begin with one of them. And
yeah, I think so. There's no order, just so you know. We have 7 programs now, and starting out with disaster being the one that takes effect where disasters have to happen, right, for us to activate. So we are prepared to do that at any time a natural disaster happens. We want to be on site at multi-agency resource centers and to provide mental health assistance, case management, distributions of water or needs, basic needs. And so we're going to be out there for that. We also do emergency trainings from time to time to the community. to help, preparedness, disaster preparedness trainings. And so that's how we're activate throughout our 25 counties for disaster. We have the St. Michael's veterans that I briefly touched on earlier, and that's for veterans who are needing financial assistance when they're housed. They may be, behind on their rent, behind on a utility bill, could be needing advocacy for jobs, could be needing car repairs assistance. And guess what? If you can't get to work, you can't work, right? So you need that car repaired. Well, we can offset the cost of your rental payments or your basic needs payments and bills and pay for your car to be fixed. So we do that for veterans as well. That's done all over our diocese, including here in Brazos Valley. And so St. Michael's veterans, and then the financial stability program, very similar. We provide the rental assistance, utility assistance, many hours of education. In fact, last year, as an agency, we delivered over close to 2,200 hours of education, financial and life skills, health skills for the parents. And so we're really proud of that because that's, you can get in financial stability help with your rent, help with your utilities, but already serving fully by just doing that and only that, right? It's a big part of it. But we got to educate, and they've got to learn, they've got to understand different things that they've never heard of. We learn something every day, right?
Well, I remember coming out of college and I knew
right?
nothing about budgeting.
Yeah, and some people, even as adults, don't formulate that idea or don't understand how to do, what's the difference between a need and a want. We teach that as a basic education part. So we're really proud of that too. And we see a lot of great stories and outcomes because they now know what to do and what not to do, right? And what to spend and what not to spend on. What's important, what's not as important. So that's financial stability. And, we have great partnerships in our local area with Bryan, Texas Utility, BTU. We just became partners with them on their new program that they're rolling out called Roundup. It's
good name.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, copyright. No, but they have the customers. They're offering the customers to round up their bill payments, and that money will be provided to financial stability programs so that we can help their customers and our clients with that. And then we have the immigration, legal services, and refugee services. Those are tied together, but they're separate. The immigration legal services are providing services for those who are seeking, the naturalization process, how to become naturalized citizens, and don't know where to turn and how to do it. We have legal attorneys that can help them navigate that system. The refugee services, just so everyone knows, that is a brand new program that I'm still acquiring some knowledge about. So, but I will say that it's many of the Afghanistan refugees, Cuban refugees, and Ukrainian refugees who have, come here with proof that they're refugees. People, I want everyone to understand that because I hear this, and that's why I bring this up. Well, refugees, they just come over. No, they're not those that just come over. They have to have proof that they're a refugee fleeing their country, whether it's through could be Christian persecution, So it's really a need that we're trying to serve those who have a purpose here, and that we want to help them through that. And that's what the refugee services do. And then the St. Gabriel Pregnancy and Parenting Program is a great program, as I mentioned earlier, for the parents, moms and dads that, just they're expecting or they already have their children 36 months and below who, acquire a lot of education and a lot of health skills education. I'll give you for instance, we have a 6-week program right now that we're partnered with Texas A&M AgriLife. They're teaching them, and I want to be in this class too, by the way. They're teaching them how to garden, how to grow healthy vegetables, cucumbers, carrots, and they are loving this. I mean, they're getting the nuts and bolts of how to grow their own gardens, and that's part of the healthy lifestyle that we're teaching at Catholic Charities for these parents. That
sounds like a fascinating program.
Absolutely. And I've had, people my colleagues that work in Austin, can I come to that class? I'll drive there, that kind of stuff. So it's really been a nice add to this. And that just speaks volumes to how we want to serve and how we want to approach the needs. And again, partnerships and community partnerships are so valuable. We can't do it alone. None of us can do anything in life alone, right? We all need help. Predominantly, number one, we need the help from our Lord, and those prayers always are there to help. And then we have to, make it work and activate. And that's why we, I continue to try and form more partnerships around our community who want to help. And we, we're so blessed to have that in this community. That's part of why I wanted to work here.
Now, I'm assuming since you're called the Catholic Charities of Central Texas, that you have some kind of test to make sure they're Catholic when they come to you?
That's a great question that you ask, and the absolute answer to that is no. Let me say that again, no. We serve anyone in need. Anyone meaning any faith, religion, doesn't matter. We don't ask. We don't know. That is not even a question. And so we wouldn't be doing what we say about the Matthew verse is serving anyone in need or the least of any brother. And so, no, we don't. We serve anyone in need. And we just want this community and the people in this community to thrive and get better and improve, fight the cycle of poverty, and just make it more livable and hopeful for people. We're providing that hope with these services too. And that's we don't want to lose sight of that either. And if we were just, pigeonhole it to a certain religion or faith, then we wouldn't be doing the service to the community, would we?
And I think this is so important for people to recognize, is that Catholic Charities helps on a need basis.
Correct.
You need help, they're there.
Yes.
And you don't ask in a disaster, well, point me to the Catholic on that street.
Right.
It's
anyone
who needs the help.
Who needs it.
And
Sure.
I think this is really, really important. And this is one of the reasons why it's so important to support Catholic Charities, because if you just condense it down to a certain group, yes, you can determine how much it's going to cost you to do this.
Right.
But if you have it open for everyone, you never know what's the needs going to be. And so you need to be prepared. And the more assistance you receive from people,
Yeah. And, whether you're Catholic or not, many of us take the Catholic out of it. We're both Catholic, but take that out of it. Many of us are one or two episodes away from being in that need, right?
Yes.
Disastrous episodes or crisis-driven episodes, right? So we understand that. And by serving all and any, it just makes us live by our Catholic and Christian values.
But the other side of this, of course, that I find so interesting is that not only does Catholic Charities worry about providing the immediate assistance, it's the education to keep it from happening again, if possible.
Right.
That is so much of the program.
Yes. Yes. You can feed with the fish, right? But if you teach how to fish, it just lasts longer, doesn't it? It goes long term, and that's what we do. That's our model.
Now, one of the things, and you talked a little bit about this already, that you partner with other groups to help with your call. Does that go the other way around also? Do other
Yes.
Agencies ask you for assistance?
Sure, you bet. So I like to say that we're mutual partners, and that means that we reciprocate. First of all, I mentioned we have 7 programs, right? And we stay in those lanes. We stay in those 7 lanes. When the case manager is working with our families and they understand a food need or XYZ need, the XYZ mean we don't have that in our service. That's when we counter that and say, okay, here's the resource. Let's make a phone call to that partner. And the same happens over there. And I like to, here in our area, we have, mutual relationships that we work together on where they directly contact our staff too, right? So they can, reach out to them. And it doesn't mean that we, speed them up the process and getting them help, but at least they know they have someone directly to reach out to at Catholic Charities when they're a community partner of ours. And I'd like to think everybody's a community partner. Right? I mean,
Yes.
So,
yeah. But I think this is one of the important things in our area, especially, and I'm assuming this is a relationship that you have built in Austin. That's a relationship you're building in Killeen,
you bet.
where you get to know the groups that are in a similar category as you are, and that you try to work together so that you fulfilled even the needs that you're not necessarily fulfilling.
You bring up a good point, because I get many referral requests across my desk. May I be a referral resource, or may I, the other way around, may I be a referral resource for you and your families? I vet, I call, I talk through it, I ask questions. We want to be very careful and selective, because it's on the behalf of our families where we're sending for their additional assistance that we don't serve. And so, yes, I'm very mindful of that, and to make sure that we are all aligned in our services. And I haven't really found a bad one yet, Deacon Mike, just to let you know, but we do our diligence. And I want everybody to understand that too. It's very important that we protect our families that we're serving by sending them into the right place, and mostly the right places around our area.
And I think that's important, again, for our listeners to know, is that when they call Catholic Charities and you say, well, that's not something we can help you with, but here's a resource for you, that they know that you've already done that due diligence.
Precisely.
That they can trust that that referral is going to be where they need to be.
Yes. Yeah, it's very important for them to know that.
And, people, especially people in need, sometimes have the sense that no one's listening.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the important things that Catholic Charities does, is provide that opportunity for them to be acknowledged, that you recognize their need.
Yes.
Rather than that, well, no, we don't help you.
Right.
Please go away.
Yeah. Our 3 E's are very important to know: the engage, educate, and empower. And when you're engaging, that's the listening part. That's understanding what their needs are, their holistic needs. They may come in with one issue or crisis, but, as they talk and they explain, the case managers with their acute listening skills understand more and are able to, take advantage of our internal services and provide, them with one-stop shop, if you will, or reach out to other partners.
Which brings up another question, which I hadn't really thought about before we got together, but it must take a certain kind of individual to volunteer or work for a place like Catholic Charities of Central Texas. And I would imagine when you find the right people, that's a wonderful group of people to work with.
Absolutely. Volunteers, first, want to say thank you to all of our volunteers across our 25 county dioceses, and very thankful for our local volunteers here who are answering the call. And, I always reach out to our community and say, do you want to help? You want to serve? You want to make a difference? Here's the different ways: volunteer, financial support, whatever, right? So the volunteers are very important, very much a special person, like you said. They take their own time and dedicate their own time to their charity of choice. And we're so thankful that some choose Catholic Charities of Central Texas. Yes. We have, brought in some volunteers that come every week. They just love it so much. The environment, the atmosphere there is positive. There's energy there. There's they know they're making a difference. And that's what I want to make sure that they're getting the most out of too, is that they're making a difference, that they're not just wasting their time, if you will, for lack of a better term. So very important to have volunteers. And I call out anyone listening now, if you want to get involved, please, give us a call, and we'll take you through the steps of see what you want to do, and we can have you over for a little volunteership.
And now, Catholic Charities of Central Texas began in Austin.
Correct.
And so is that still the main office for?
Yeah, if you want to term it that way, by way of the coverage area. They're covering a wide area around the Austin area, not only in Austin. You go up north into Georgetown, Round Rock, those places. There's 25 counties in the Diocese of Austin. So yeah, Austin covers many of those, and yet we are right here covering our 4 of the 7 counties that are within the Diocese of Austin. And so to answer your question, yeah, we still have most of the population of our employee staff is in Austin office, yes. And our directors of our programs all office out of the Austin office.
One of the reasons I asked this is because, there's 25 counties in the Diocese of Austin that Catholic Charities assists with.
Yes.
Say somebody drives up from Navasota, which is not in the Diocese
Correct.
of Austin.
Yeah.
Anything different?
So understanding what they need, first of all, right? That is a Grimes County resident. And Grimes County is served by the Houston Galveston Catholic Charities. So by way of respect to them and their mission, we do ask them if they would be interested in us contacting them on their behalf, or if they wanted to contact them themselves. A lot of people like to just take it upon themselves. They already took it upon themselves to contact us, so they'll do that, their own thing. That's the first thing. That's the first step. So we talk about referrals and resources. Well, there's one right in our backyard, Catholic Charities of Houston Galveston. If it's something that Houston Galveston may not serve by way of, then we have other resources and allow for that process to take hold and their whatever mission we refer them to. And so it's no closed door, Deacon Mike. It's always, okay, where can we help? How can we find the help for them, right? If we cannot serve them ourselves.
This is what I was trying to emphasize, is the fact that it makes no difference where you come from.
Exactly.
If you're in need, Catholic Charities is going to find resources that are able to help you, even if at that moment they cannot.
Certainly. And I've gotten to know some people in Navasota, so I understand what they have to offer at the Resources Center there, and that helps. That helps us help.
Again, I want to remind our listeners, I'm talking to John Paci, the Brazos Valley Director of Catholic Charities of Central Texas. And now on the flip side of what we've been talking about, if you're not in need of help, how can you help Catholic Charities?
Yeah, so we have opportunities to volunteer, as I mentioned before. Our financial support is always welcomed. Prayers are always welcome. If you're looking to financially support us, there are a few ways you can do that, all on our website. And, ccctx.org is the best way to find that out. You can follow us on social media. All of our social media linkages are on our website, right at the top page of the first page. There's right next to the donate button, there's a there's a Facebook and a Instagram and Twitter accounts as well. So you can follow us. And if you're already a follower, please like and share and just spread the word. Evangelize for us too. We always need that help. So there's many ways that you can help us. Definitely financial, definitely volunteer, definitely the social media route, if that's your flavor. Yeah.
Now, you talked about creating hope. This is one of your main fundraisers here in the Brazos Valley. What times of the year do you normally have that? Yeah,
so ours here in Brazos Valley is in April. It'll be late April again. We usually schedule it after the Easter season. And so this year in April, it was the last Thursday in April. Through some feedback, wink and a nod, Deacon Mike, a Thursday night, we're going to move to a Friday night this year.
Thank you.
So you and Marion are going to be there this time.
Yes, we will be there.
So little inside joke there, but great feedback. First of all, we're going to try the Friday night, and that'll be in late April. Don't have a date yet, but everyone will know about it.
Yes, and we will certainly air it here on Catholic Radio to let everybody know when it's happening.
Yes, and I'll tell you from what I ask for feedback all the time, and from what all I heard was nothing but good about the program and about the I'll say her, Holly is her name. She did a wonderful job in service to herself too, to talk about her story. And she came through our St. Gabriel pregnancy and parenting program, and also there was some mental health services that were provided to her family. So doing that, but then everybody just had a wonderful time, a wonderful way to celebrate the community and the community that, was attending that night. So we want to see more out there. The people that were there helped us meet our goal. And we just, would love to see more come out and witness and experience all the good that they get when they go to our annual events.
And I think this was for me always the most impressive thing about this is to get to hear from people who have actually been assisted through the programs at Catholic Charities and the change it has made in their life.
Yes. The transformation is phenomenal to hear these stories. And Holly's not the only story. I tell people there's many stories like Holly. She just has enough courage to get up in front of 200 people and say it, right? So, but seriously, there's many stories like that. And the transformation, going into college education that they never thought they could, right? Thought they were going to be out on the street, and we prevented them from being homeless. Able to give them that, blanket, right, of protection and help and hope. And that's what comforts us the most, to know that we're doing the right thing for our community and our families, because, without them coming out of our programs in a positive way, it really makes it challenging to understand for people who aren't there every day, because I see it every day, but people aren't there every day to understand exactly what we're doing. And that's, like you said, to hear those types of transformation stories and changing lives. This staff, and there's a picture of them right here. That's our 3 staff right there. They just do phenomenal work. I can't say enough great things about what they've done, and the feedback I get from the clients too, that they say, what they say about them, tells us that we're in the right place and we're doing the right thing. Like you said, it takes special people to do this type of work.
But also, I think that the education part of what you do,
mm-hmm.
the confidence it provides for people that they can now do this,
yes,
is so important.
Yes, a lot of aha moments.
Yes. Because I think, a lot of times when you're in need, there's a sense there's nothing I can do.
Mm-hmm. Hopelessness.
And, yes. And this, again, the motto, creating hope.
Yeah. But it really is, yeah.
Yes, but that education provides that hope, because it provides that confidence that I now know how to do this.
Yes, absolutely. Can't say it enough that the education that they receive from life skills, they learn about how to, what's the healthy way to raise your child? What's the healthy way to be a pregnant mother? All of that's tied in to our education. What's the best way to budget? How does credit work? Many people don't understand that and don't understand the impacts of that for pricing. Your insurances. If you buy auto insurance, and your premium may be higher because of your credit rating, right? So that has to be understood and taught, and many people aren't aware of that until they get help from us. And so, we're very much on the mode of that education. And always finding new ways to educate, different current ways to educate. And we have tried and true education curriculum too. These are substantial curriculum, and they're very much tailored to who we serve.
We've got just under 3 minutes left. So thinking outside the box, I would like for you to speak a little bit about what your hopes are for Catholic Charities going forward.
Yeah, going forward, I think what I would like to see is more and more awareness of what we do, and that's part of my job, right? Of the work that we do and the great work we do, and being out here on Red Sea Radio is part of that mission of getting more awareness so that more people can contribute the way they want to contribute when it feels good to them. And if that's financially, great. If that's volunteering, great. If that's liking something on our Facebook page, great. So that community awareness in mass in our 4 counties here in Brazos Valley. And if it extends out to Killeen and all these other areas that we serve, that's even better, right? So that's what I want. I want to see that, because I think when we have more awareness, more people can get the help they need and all the help that we just talked about today.
And I think this is one of the things that, education is not just for the people coming to your facility. It's also for the people that are out there that maybe have not heard of Catholic Charities, and the education of what it is that you do.
Yes.
And the impact that you have.
Correct.
By what you're doing. And so the more we get that word out, the more people are aware that, 1, you're out there, and 2, that they can help.
Yes.
They can be part of that Matthew 25.
Matthew 25. And segueing into that, we have our open house on September 29th. So 1410 Cabot Avenue, that's our office. And that's where you can really learn and meet the staff, meet the directors of the programs, ask questions, understand more. If you already know us, come on out anyway. We're going to feed you. It's fun.
Sounds like a
it's
deal.
Festive. It's a Friday, again, on that Friday theme.
Yeah.
And so I really invite everyone to come out anytime between 10:30 a.m., 1 o'clock. Come on out and visit us. And we have a lot of community partners, local leaders that have already signed up and RSVP'd. So Deacon Mike, I know you can stop by, and it's going to be great. We'll be honored with you to be there as well.
Well, consider this your invitation. John Paci, thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you all for having me.
And we will be back for the second part of the show after the short break we're going to take.
All right. God bless. Thank you.
All this I can, 'cause I